We are live on the Sales Made Live Smarter Growth podcast. We're coming to you guys every Tuesday at sundown. So actually, in the summertime, we started this when the world went dark at 5 p.m. So in the summertime, we're coming to you a little earlier than sundown, and hope that's fine. But you can pause this live stream right now and continue watching it later if you want to.
But don't.
But don't do it. Don't do it. Today, I have with me the fantastic, tech enthusiastic, the funnel guy, Abdou Tiam. Abdou, my pleasure.
Thanks, Max. Thanks for the phenomenal intro. It's a pleasure and an honor as always. Looking forward to it.
It's well deserved, I think. And hey, for the audience, let us know in the comments below. You can drop any questions you have, any comments. More than welcome. We are here to actually for you. It's your show. We just participate here front and center and share some experience. And Abdou is our founder's growth quarterback, and I believe that the stuff he shares here is pretty exciting and pretty helpful. Let us know what you think. And then we have here the good-looking, the man who can run a handstand across town and build a sales organization while doing that, Mr. Patrick Trumpy. Welcome, Patrick.
Welcome, guys. It's an honor to be here once again. It's a lot of fun. And not to mention the third guy in the room, the actor-faced, Brad Pitt-like sales master
Amazing.
who actually helped us all where we are today. Without this guy, we wouldn't be where we are now, because I have learned probably 60% of all I know about sales from the great young Max.
The guy
Dr.
with
Max Ellers. Pleasure to be here with you.
Yes.
Thanks.
It's an absolute pleasure, Max.
Thank you very much, guys. Oh yeah, I mean, we had this is episode 10, right?
I guess, like in the meantime, 12. I mean, we have planned 10 together, Max, but luckily we have been joined by someone who adds like 210% more expertise to this room, which is on the top left, or I don't know where. And so I think we had to extend the amount of episodes we do, right? Because 210% more expertise means like we have to do at least 12, 20 of these episodes.
Yes, and we had in the podcast we had a few episodes spontaneously or for whatever kinds of reasons. And we have this special format, our 10 commandments, where we are, here we are. And this is like the 10th commandment. So it's easy to tell if you can do the math. We had like 2 sessions in between where we didn't discuss a commandment. And this is the last one. And it's interesting because like some of the other commandments, and we hope you enjoyed them. And by the way, we promised you guys that you will be eligible for a t-shirt, and it's actually a polo shirt with the 10 commandments on it, the sales made polo shirt. This is something you cannot buy, it's something you earn. And today's the day. If you are watching this live or the recording, drop us a comment below and say like, here, we'll get back to you to get that polo shirt shipped to you and welcome you to the tribe if you want to. So these other commandments, they may have this feeling that it's a little greenfield, it's a little idealistic. And when we work with customers, some of them already have a business. Some of them already have customers ringing the phone or sending email. So today we want to talk about knowing where to start with that customer? And what if the customer approaches you and doesn't want to start the conversation at the very beginning? They don't want to be convinced that the world is changing. They don't want to be convinced that there are winners. They think they got it all right, and they have already requested 5 other people, and they already have the quote. So now it's your turn to give them a price. What do you do? That's what we want to find out today. And also, we want to have a look at how this special situation correlates with our other commandments. So we are talking, what is it? Funnel in reverse, Abdou, or what are we talking?
Yeah, I think I would call it bottom to top, bottoms up approach. Yeah, starting at the bottom of the funnel.
What does that mean, Abdou?
Yeah, I mean at the bottom of the funnel of the, let's say, the buyer's journey, it's the action or the sale or the close. And yeah, we often underestimate the importance of having that part figured out before building on top of it.
So it means that we have to figure out first how to close before we generate a lot of leads.
Yes, because you could generate a lot of leads for an offer no one's interested in, or you could generate a lot of leads for an action that's not working. So we're losing a lot of money and time. So, and you won't get as much learnings as starting at the bottom, because at the bottom there's like an exchange of information between you and your prospect. And later on, it's just you displaying information and hoping. I think that's the right word, hoping for people to convert. So if someone clicks on your landing page and just leaves, you won't get as much information as if you figured out the action part and know why people could leave, and already implying that in the messaging on your landing page.
Yeah, that's really funny, and it's really it's something. I remember when I was watching Ice Age for the first time. Do you know that movie?
Absolutely.
And you have these wow moments where you see like the guy's falling off the cliff, and then he drops to the bottom, and he's laying on this sheet of ice, tries to get up. Then you see he can't get up because his tongue is fallen out and it's frozen to the ice. So it's like you have the impression that these people, they have done the movie, then they have watched the movie, and then they have watched the movie with only one task at hand, like how can we make it even more painful, even more dramatic, even more complex. And sometimes in the real world, I feel like Murphy is watching our little sales stitchy procedure, and then he's looking like, okay, where are these guys getting it right, and what can we do to make it more difficult, right? How can we find customers who do not react to the messaging? How can we find some customers who do not want to have that discovery conversation and share, like all of their business outcomes with you guys and so forth? And it's really funny because like it sounds crazy. It's like time traveling, right? Backwards. So we try to close first, and now the customer doesn't, like we have this information diet. We talked about keeping your powder dry. We talked about not prescribing before we completely understand customers. We talked about not giving them a price before we know the value of the outcomes we should create. And now we have this guy there, and all they want is a quote. And like you feel it, right? You give them the quote, what happens?
Yeah, I mean,
too expensive.
Yeah,
of course. Too expensive and too complicated. And I've seen that more beautiful in the other shop. And you're like, why is this so expensive? I can do that on my own, right? In 4 hours. Why does it take 40 days if you do it? You are the expert. So how can you, I mean, Patrick, what's your take? How can you survive that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think what we should do when we talk about these things, one very important distinction on a scale from zero, not zero, like say 5 till a million, like how much do we expect to earn with that customer? That's quite relevant, isn't it? Because if you make $1 million with that customer, okay, I had a different approach to when I make $100 a month with the customer. Right?
Uh-huh.
So like when it's $100, I'd say, okay, guys, I'm sorry, I invest my time in the next one. Normally,
Okay, and then the next one is 10,000, but same story.
Same, like what I usually want to do. I think one of the most important and underestimated things as a salesperson that you have to do and you have to try to influence are the decision criteria. Mm-hmm. If you are, as a salesperson, together with the buyer, you are the owner of the decision criteria, then you got it. If you can influence the decision, if you can find out the decision criteria, if you can influence the decision criteria, and you can make the decision criteria to be like how your product is, and then show them that you fulfill exactly those decision criteria, then you still have a chance. The problem is when somebody approaches you, as you said at the beginning, Max, I think 5 others have already pitched there. And there was one person, like one sales guy, who approached them first. And if that was a smart sales guy, he told them, guys, what's your decision criteria? You don't have yet any? Okay, let's figure that out first. And then you go to other suppliers. And then you do your research. So, I mean, the first thing I would do if somebody approaches me, I would ask, what have you done so far? Have you been talking to someone else? Do you have your decision criteria ready? Where are they coming from? Are you willing to change those decision criteria? Is that nailed into stone, or are you open to some crazy new ideas? And then you have to hope, basically, I think if they are not, you have to hope that you can show them a use case or can show them additional stuff, like in a challenger sale, mood. You have to show them, guys, your problem is not all formulated, but this is also a problem, by the way, and this is how we solve it. I think that's how I would tackle this. I'm not sure if that's what.
So you giving them more reasons to open the conversation back up. Is that it?
Yeah. What does open the conversation back up mean to you?
In terms of the typical conversational flow where we have people we want to attract as our ideal customers, and then on the other hand we have our super irresistible package. Then this one big conversation we're having in marketing and sales and on the flyers and YouTube channels and Instagrams and so forth, it's one big conversation that has the intent to get that ideal customer to ultimately make a well-informed decision about our irresistible offer. Are they interested in it or not? And the conversation is pretty much closed down already when people come and say hey, you are a sales expert, or you are an expert for regulatory information directly put into my system so my people can play with it and make less mistakes.
Yes.
What's the price? So yes. Then the conversation is pretty much, it's already at that focal point. And we want to open it back up and say hey, it's great to see that you have an impression of what you really need.
With big deals, I exactly agree. With big deals, I would want to open it up. Very well formulated, Max. Mm-hmm. With small deals, we have to rely on what Abdou said at the beginning, like that, you know, you go bottom up or top, or I don't know what you said, Abdou, but I have to rely on Abdou that he did
Yeah.
his job really well, and those customers who come to me, they, you know, fit our decision criteria that we gonna win best, so that I can just efficiently push those customers through. Those who buy, they buy. I just have to do like a short discovery, perfect. You know, I'm talking about customers who we earn less than 10,000 a year, right? You don't have much time. You can't invest a day or two into these customers, because otherwise you don't have a positive customer lifetime value, even if they need customer support. So I have, and that's very good point. I mean, Abdou made at the beginning. So it's really important that those who approach us, that they really don't need much time, and they are the right ones who fit our decision criteria as best, I think. Yeah, but if not, perfectly formulated from you, Max. If not, open the funnel again.
I would like to add something to that, like a quick follow-up on what Patrick said. I really love what you did there with, like, what's your decision, like what's the criteria for your decision, and if you don't have it set in stone already, then I would like to help you create a criteria for the decision you're going to make, and by helping them create it, you're changing from a vendor to the procurer. So that's a very nice transition you're doing there. I actually wrote that down. So I'm always learning from you guys. It's amazing. What I wanted to add is the thing with like what Patrick said. If you say you trust the funnel, you trust the way people are coming to you, that means that you actually followed the, let's call it the nine previous commandments. So you know what you need to write down on the landing page, for example, which leads to the people coming and asking you, hey, can we get a quote for that? So it means that you already handled all the objections, and it's probably, or not probably, but it's likely someone that already understands what they're getting, and your previous conversations with your prospects led to you having all their questions and objections handled beforehand, before the actual asking for a quote.
In a typical procedure.
No, that's quite atypical. I think a lot of people did it the other way around.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are not following the previous commandments and set up a website, start doing advertising, go for 0.5 conversion rate. 0.5% conversion rate means 1 out of 200 people in a exact target audience you defined show some interest, and afterwards you close 1 out of 10 from them because because you didn't do the actual, you didn't put the work in it, or you didn't front load the work of knowing what to tell them in the process. So Patrick's absolutely right. If it's a big potential client, though, if it's like you said in the beginning, like how much money can you get from that customer or client? I think if it's a big, let's say B2B deal, then it could be worth giving that quota anyway, and even going low with the price, just as an how's that called, to have a foot in the door. And if it's the kind of client that would cost you a lot of money to acquire, you could just calculate whatever you're paying on top of what of the service you're doing for that person, and handle it as acquisition cost. That's an interesting way of like showing you can provide value. Actually wanted to ask you guys about that. I don't know, maybe Max, What do you think of the quote, like, sell them what they want first, and afterwards sell them what they need?
Yeah. I understand the concept, and the idea how I picked it up is you sell them what they want, and then you give them what they need.
Ah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
for instance, they need I don't know, they need a new website, right? So they come to you and say like, hey, I need a new website. I have 5 other quotes already. They are pretty cheap, and you like, the guys really know what they're doing and so forth. Give me a quote. Come on, what's the price? So in that scenario, they are asking for a website. You both guys know that the last thing they probably need is a website.
Mm-hmm.
That is out of your experience and the inner dialogue. That's, you like, now this kicks off some dialogue in your head, like, oh, you immediately try to relate to situations you've known, you've seen. Most of the time people don't need the website, they need more customers. Like, it's a remote output of a website, theoretically, if it's done right.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's an output of the website plus some email plus some advertising plus some stuff in the ecosystem of that new website. And in order to do the new website, you should have something like a messaging that is relatable for your customers. And you should not have the typical countdown of features and USPs and how many people you have and stuff. So, in that example, if they would approach me and say like, I need a website, I would say like, yeah, sure. I mean, who doesn't? And pull that empathy plug, right? And or that empathy trigger and say like, yeah, I totally get it. Who wouldn't need a new website, right? I love the idea. And then I would always, like, always, because even if it's a small customer and I decide I wanna do something for them, even if I just happen to talk about my new book or something with them, I would
Mm-hmm.
try to find out, because it's typically just a 15-minute conversation or so. I would try to find out where they are going with this. So opening up the conversation, say like, by the way, just like, out of curiosity, once that website's in place, what's going to change? What are some different results you would see in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's some impact? You like, dig a little deeper and say like, I'm not only scratching the surface and say, like, talk about websites and tell them why it should be Buddy Boss running on WordPress version, I don't know, 13, or
Yeah.
and with these and those plugins written in Razor Sharp or whatever. I think that talking about the outcomes is more important, and you can do something that Patrick said earlier. You can give them some good reasoning for opening that conversation. Like, hey, most of the time when we build a website, people have some idea what they want to achieve with that, and we find that a lot of times it's not only the website. So I would say, like, for me, when we talk about sell them what they want, the website, for instance, and it's maybe the package they need, but you write on top of it, you write your new website, welcome. It contains an email sequence. It contains a marketing message overhaul. It contains new LinkedIn profiles for you guys. It
Mm-hmm.
contains sale, maybe a conversation training, whatever it is. So the question would be, who owns the result, actually? Who is responsible? And we talked about that in one of the other commandments. And I think that's where you see it cracking, right? Because now we want to be responsible for the result. We don't want to give them a lot of information before we understand. We want to own the result. At the same time, these guys are super impatient, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about our feelings. They don't care about our level of professionalism and what we want. They want that fucking, excuse my French, they want that friggin' damn price, right? Give me the price, the number. And if you say, you know what happens if you say a number, I don't know, above, what's a website costing, guys, out there in the marketplace?
I know, 10K, 20K.
Yeah, maybe 1.6K. 800. I can do your Kajabi website for 800. Right? You go to Fiverr or Upwork. People do all different kinds of things, and
Yeah, they'll create you a complete website, including your app for $300.
yeah. So you say a number, and typically when engineers and tech organizations say a number, they mean well, right? Because they include a lot of extra drama in that number, because they know there's stuff coming, right? And
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's. I believe in the quote: "Sell them what they want, and then give them what they need." I also believe in making them part of the process. It's not like putting them to sleep. They are asking for a knee surgery. We know it's not a knee surgery, so we wake them up after like repairing the shoulder and the elbows, and so we can easily become a little invasive because we have all of that experience. And I think it's a good way is to use that empathy. Tell them, hey, I totally relate with what you're saying. I'm just like you. I would want that new website. I totally, by the way, we're super happy that you're talking to us. And then try and drive that conversation and take the ownership of the process, right? Who owns that? I mean, I would love to own the process if
Yeah,
possible. Yeah.
yeah. Depending on the project, you'll have to. So, um, yeah, yeah. I think that's a great answer, Max.
So how would you go about that, Abdu? How would you go about if you need a landing page, a website? How does that work? This switch up top of the funnel, outside,
Bottom.
bottom of
You
the
start at the bottom.
yeah.
Um, yeah, you mean like is a question? How does that work combined with the uh, reverse funnel approach?
Like how what are the steps you would go through, and what do you do in each step so that you
Like
reach?
in case someone just asks me, "Hey, what would a website cost?"
Yeah, or you just build a website, right? You build a new
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you
I
are
mean,
convinced that starting at the bottom makes a lot of sense. Well, what does that cost, right? What's different?
What is starting at the bottom? What are the
okay,
steps?
yeah. So I'll just do it how it's done usually. I'll just tell you how it's done usually. It's you have an idea or a company, and you most probably already have a website, but you don't like it, so you create a new one. You say, "Hey, our competitor one, A and B and X are doing it very good, so I like their approach. We should also have a about page that shows this and that information, and we should also I like their contact form. It's a multi-step form, so it doesn't seem like a lot. Yeah, this must convert better, and then you also add some new design elements to your start, a new design approach or a state-of-the-art design to your start page, your homepage. And yeah, that's what you do. That's what you ask agencies to give you a quote for. Then you just pick one of them, the most convincing one, and you start the project process with them. In the next step, your website, 10 steps later, your website's done. Um, now it's live and everyone's amazed. Someone's going to tell you, hey, now you need traffic. You need to bring traffic to that new website. You do some social media posts, run ads, like paid social media, and start a Google campaign with your new beautifully designed value proposition you never show the customer. And yeah, then you just start going with the flow. Means your website, or let's even say your new landing page, is performing okay, means conversion rates of below 1%.
What are very
And
good conversion rates actually up to? Can you
like
tell me what
like
are bad good?
like from 100 people that visit your website or your landing page, how many people actually take the action, the desired action? Like
Yes.
yeah, so
What's a
something
very
that's yeah. Sorry.
what's a very good conversion rate? What's a bad one? What's a medium one?
Yeah, I think for a landing page, you should definitely aim for about 5%, and even more, depending on how targeted, like how depending on the quality of the traffic and of your traffic. And for like a website, I think 1% would be reasonable, and there's not a lot of websites that are actually achieving that. So yeah, and there's different types of conversions. Like you could ask for an email address, or you could put in a form with 20 fields, where you even have to put in your social security number and stuff. Depends on what you actually need. So let's say people are just collecting usual forms, name, email, and tell us what you want from us. That would mean people have to fill in 3 fields. So yeah, that's not bad. It's not a lot of information, and you can work with that. Now you have all that set up. You have a landing page, a normal form. You don't have several calls to action because that's distracting. That's already proven. People know that. Only have one call to action per landing page or per site, if possible. So the problem starts here. You have a value proposition you've never shown someone. Yeah, I mean, you had a great workshop where you discussed how you feel about the product, or what customers told you before 1 or 2 times that you think should definitely be in there. So you did strike through the welcome on the start of your website and wrote down something like, we do blah for Y, we do X for Y, for example.
What is there an example for that?
Yeah, we do we do sales coaching for entrepreneurs who want to level up their sales game. So now you're very proud of that, because it's actually saying something. It's better than welcome to the SalesMate website. Okay,
Yeah.
but the problem is, still you haven't talked to anyone relevant about it. So now you start driving traffic. Let's say you have 10,000 visitors per month, and 10 people actually contact you. And I think, yeah, it doesn't sound that bad. Problem is, getting 10,000 visitors per month is pretty expensive. And out of the 10 people that contact you, it's going to be hard to actually close a lot of them, because you're not very targeted with your messaging or your audience. And what you do in that case is what people usually do in that case is they talk to someone that gets better conversions for conversion rates. So you start optimizing your conversion rates. The owner starts logging into Google Analytics on a daily basis and counting the hits and not understanding what's actually happening. And all of that is pretty useless as long as you're not nailing it with the messaging. And if you respect all the commandments before this episode, you will know that you actually have to get into a conversation with your prospects. You know that you have to prime yourself for, let's say, successful marketing by knowing who you're talking to, what messaging would be right, on what channels what channels they're using. So depending on your channel, depending on your audience, it won't make sense to spend 2,000 francs, Swiss francs a month on Instagram
Yeah.
ads. Yeah, things like that. And yeah, I'm just painting it sounds like a horror scenario, but it's just reality. It's happening every day, all the time. That's how people do it. And what I would do is talk with someone like Patrick or Max and tell them, hey, we have this product and we have no idea how to sell it. That's a very good approach, knowing that, like, we know there could be a market for it. We've heard from different people that there would be an actual need for it, but we haven't sold it yet, or we're selling it but we're not happy with the results.
Yeah.
Going from there, sharpening your message, getting first deals, nailing the onboarding of new customers. Because you have, if you start a conversation with like a actual sales conversation, if you start the interaction with a sales conversation, everything is also slowed down to a certain degree. So you get into contact with people. They can actually tell you why they're not interested or why they would be interested, on what terms, and afterwards you can say, okay, the next step would be X, Y, and Z. Could we set up a call for that, for example, and then you can meet for that call. And afterwards, hey, the next step would be, we're going to kick off the project or process with handing you over to the operational team. And there you will have to talk with, I don't know, Simon, and Simon's going to show you through how it's going to, how your actual customer or client journey is going to begin. So you have a seamless transition from buyer to client, and having that optimized for people coming through the website. Like, someone has a spare 15 minutes, Google something related to your product, finds your website, thinks, okay, let's have a quick chat. And afterwards, you haven't, your response time is slow, or whatever you're communicating is messy. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult to actually give them a experience that's worth taking the decision to keep going with you guys. And that's the main difference. The main difference is, you will be ready if you build it from bottom up, like first a conversation, then the landing page where you drive very targeted traffic, for example, even through a outreach campaign where the link leads to your landing page, where all the arguments you collected are already there, and people can contact you if they have any more questions. And then build up on top of that a audience that's a little bit broader, but you already know who you're talking to and what part of that audience is interesting, and then turning up the traffic volumes. Like, say, okay, now we can bring 10,000 people because we know the whole thing is working, rather than bringing 10,000 people and not knowing what to actually do if they fill out your form at the end of the day.
That's beautiful, Abdou. Let me grab that one thought. I really like that one. So my understanding is that we have, as the architects of a great sales process, the architects of a great marketing process, we do have, like it's like building a fresh office, I don't know, area in a big city or so. You have your certain ideas how things should work out. So we have a clear bias how we would build a sales procedure, how we would build a marketing procedure, and so forth. Now, we do have some realities. Some of our customers, they need business now.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot afford to create that marketing concept and then build all of that funnel and stuff for months and months. And also, some of them, they are so used to people coming to them, and then they are focused on, they know they get the deal if they have the right price, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't even matter if you're B2B. It's the same in B2C. I think if you're selling, I don't know, skiing clothes, Bogner, where will people buy it? where they feel good, where they feel special, maybe where they get a good price. Our customers are pretty experienced when it comes to getting customers, their customers.
Yeah.
Now we come and say like, you like, there's this new opportunity. You can have like a broader conversation. You can talk about like outcomes and get people to completely new frontiers mentally. And
Yeah.
then you can sell at a better price, and then you have more influence, and then you will have a better customer relationship and so forth. And that is, for me, that is the difference between the bottom of funnel, where we say like customers are ready to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they've went through our funnel, right?
No.
Doesn't mean that we had all those conversations. They just come and they are ready to buy. Or top of funnel, where we know we are dealing with complete strangers. They don't even know that there's clothes for skiing. They never heard about skiing.
Mm-hmm.
So now we want to get them through the whole conversation, like why it's important for their family and creating memories and more choices for the family, and it's the new lifestyle. And by the way, you need skiing clothes. Did you know that? You didn't, right? So here's something great. Most people buy this, right? Bogna.
Mm-hmm.
Most people buy it. Believe me.
Believe me, it's good.
Then you can try to influence. You just mentally influence the whole decision process. Now, when
Yeah.
we talk about bottom of funnel versus top of funnel, so would you rather have that guy that is ready to buy? Or would you rather have the conversation with people who are completely unaware, because at the end, maybe you have more influence over their decision and it's not about the price and stuff. So, and Patrick, from your experience, which one is better?
Oh, certainly for me, the first one for sure. The first, no, but again, I would differentiate, because I mean, no. I mean, from those two that you just mentioned, for sure, the one Abdou would bring me like bottom of funnel for sure.
Ready to buy.
Ready to buy that product that we have, which is not necessarily, well, it's hard, it's sometimes tough to distinguish from inbound, what we talked about at the beginning. You just have to make sure that that person hasn't been looking for your product because the person was approached by one of your competitors 2 months ago or 3 months ago. But other than that, sorry? Yeah. So other than that, I guess, I mean, Abdou knows the numbers, right? You have been doing that a lot of times, Abdou, and the conversion rates are going to get better. I mean, it's especially with a lot of numbers, with thousands of people who visit your website. If you have 5% conversion rates, like 50 per month, and then I don't know, you have to make sure that your sales process is efficient, and not that your sales process is trying to make sure that each and every single customer you're going to win. That's not necessarily good. I mean, it's not, you have to win them fast, and thanks to what Abdul just explained, you can win them much faster. And we're talking probably about deals that are very low in price, and then you have to make sure that you qualify them properly at the beginning, and then push them through. And I think for sure that with this machinery you explained, up to the sales machinery is going to be so much more efficient, because all the people who go through and come through the funnel, they gonna be different leads than those others that would be top of funnel leads.
No, I would actually add the fact that I think it's even applicable to, let's say, large scale deals, just to a certain degree. But if you, like, for a product, a B2B product that costs I don't know, 200,000 francs a month. I don't know, that product's pretty expensive, let's say a year. Even in that case, you would be it would make more sense to start at the bottom, like start with the sales conversation, with the actually closing the prospects you're in contact with, and then on top of that, there's no need to build it to a scale where it doesn't make sense anymore. If your market consists of 1,000 people worldwide, then still from those 1,000 people, if you start with the conversation and actually knowing what your prospects care about, if you set a landing page on top of that, for example, and do a very targeted email campaign that will still be outreach, and send them to this page to get information they previously, some of the audience told you that that's what they care about, your closing rate is going to be super efficient. Means I would feel 100 times better getting leads for a company where you did the sales part first than just bringing leads and they'll figure out how to close them. If that makes sense. So for me, it's not about the big masses. It's just about having some degree of scalability. People tried it with sending mail. A real mail, not email, to company inboxes. They tried cold calling. They tried cold email, and even with your cold email is going to perform better. That's a way of scaling a bit what you're doing. Your cold email is going to perform better if you first figure out what is it your prospects actually care about. And I think that the best way to do that is at the end of the funnel, like after having closed the first one or having talked to a bunch. So yeah, like any approach of scale, a funnel is just like getting a wider audience the higher up you go. And even if you just add one level, that's called cold email, for example, you're winning if you know who you're talking to. Like the know your audience, you read everywhere on the net. It's real. It's necessary.
Nah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at a big scale, if we're talking about 10,000 of people, then tens of thousands of people, then you definitely need to know what you're doing.
Now, another question, Abdou. Now I'm coming to you. We just built the website, and now I want you to tell me what marketing channels we should use first. How would you assess that?
Yeah, I would ask you what marketing channel you think your audience is spending time on.
Google.
Like what marketing platform your audience is spending time on.
What are there? What marketing channels do we have as a choice?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a organic social like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. There's paid social, LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. There's the whole YouTube and DV360 and display ads, like the banners you see everywhere, the videos, the ads that are interrupting your YouTube experience. Then you have
I have ads, it doesn't.
That's
So
clever.
anyway,
I used to have one, but then my business partner told me that it's immoral to work in advertising and block advertising at the same time. So yeah, now I'm how's that called in English? Like I have to taste my own. Yeah.
Eat your own dog food.
But maybe
Yeah, eat your own dog food. That's it.
maybe advertising overall is immoral.
So
No,
you're saying
that's a totally
Abdou, you were saying that there are like multiple sources of traffic,
Yeah.
multiple places where customers could hang out.
Absolutely, and I think if you did the initial process of talking to your audience and knowing them and having closed some of them and getting familiar with your prospects and potential clients, then I would definitely return the question to you. And otherwise, I would tell you, yeah, if you don't know the answer, I would tell you maybe we should talk about our targeting first.
And if we talk about customers who are like more bottom of funnel, so we talked about those guys who are ready to buy, right? They have analyzed their own situation. They have an idea. The guy at the golf driving ranch told them that they had the same problem, but then they were doing ABC, and now it's
Yeah,
gone. So these guys are looking for ABC. You are on their ABC shortlist because you are like famous for everything you can do there. They approach you. They're ready to buy. Are there some places where they are more likely to hang out and where they are more likely to be found than the guys who don't know anything?
okay. Like if there's a platform, yeah, I didn't get the question, sorry.
Or a
If there's
source?
a platform where your audience is more likely to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
if you
depends
had
on
to
the.
generate traffic for bottom of funnel versus top of funnel, what are
Yeah,
some?
I mean, at
Mhm.
the lowest point, at the bottom, the effective bottom of the funnel, there, I wouldn't bring traffic there. I would talk to people actively, like reaching out to people and talking to them. That's what I mean with yeah. Start with the action.
And
Start
you
with
know that
the
they're so if you want to talk to people, how do you know they are bottom of funnel? How do you know they are ready to buy?
Yeah, the funnel is not a state of mind of your customer or like a step in the journey they're in. The funnel is like the system you create according to your buyer's journey. So
Hmm.
at the top of the funnel, you would have your audience's state of mind would be, hey, actually figured out that I need a solution there. No, not even something in that direction could be interesting, and that's where
Hmm.
you have like the awareness stage combined with your awareness stage in the funnel. So you creating awareness content like, hey, our solution exists, we created this and that results. Then let's make it just 3 steps. Then you have consideration. Consideration means the that's the state of mind of your potential customer. Is their state of mind is, hey, I need a solution and I'm considering 3 options, for example. And you have like, out of your audience, there's going to be a smaller part down here than at the top where they could basically need it. And then of the consideration, there's like a decision part or a action step. And that's like the buyer's journey. And
Hmm.
your funnel is just corresponding to these different stages. But what I would do is go below that point and say, below the action part, there is something called the close, like the deepest point in the funnel. And I would work from the close on backwards, meaning first find someone that's actually willing to give you money for what you're doing before building a funnel around it. And after you figured that out and you repeatedly done it, you're going to have a lot of information about how to sell it, what arguments are very good or performing well or helping you actually get them above the line and close the deal.
Hmm.
So with that information, you would start saying, hey, how can I scale this? And then, for example, set up a landing page that contains a condensed form of what you've learned about your audience's interest. And then saying, if someone that's similar or has similar pains to the people I've closed so far sees that, this person is going to be very likely to be interested to talk with us or to even buy. So yeah, it's reverse engineering, like the systems you put in place to get the customers in their state of mind, which is, for example, consideration. Your consideration content will perform much better if you actually close some of them and talk to them and know what their decision criteria is, for example. So if you know their decision criteria and put that on any message that reaches them in the consideration phase, you're going to be more likely to be one of the to be in this final selection or in the final three or even the only one they talk to because you're the only one that did their homework. Yeah.
We are talking about informed customers getting to us and how that interferes with our idealistic greenfield sales commandments. And how to reverse the funnel and bottom up and we had some very nerdy terminology. So we're on the screen, ToFu or BoF. What is it? Right? Is it sales in the end? Is there a magic formula? And of course, I mean, we're sharing our experiences with you guys here. It seems that you can attract people that are bottom of funnel through that procedure where you get more information about them as a target group. Then you have the right advertising. More people come to your place, be it a landing page, for instance, or a webinar or a YouTube video or whatever it is. And they feel that you're reading their minds. And now you have more of those bottom of funnel customers there who are ready to buy. But then we talked about once you have that conversation, you have to make the decision. Are you willing to sell to them? Or do you have something to sell to them? Or do you need to reopen the conversation and you rewind their thought process and say hey, customer, you are the best looking customer we ever had. Probably some of your thought process has gone wrong. So let's just start it over again and then see if they're open to that. And Patrick, any thoughts from your side so far, summarizing or adding?
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. With big deals, I think you should make sure that they got the thought process right and it fits your criteria really. But I guess thanks to Abdou's reverse engineering, that most of those we get are more of those we get are fitting those criteria. But it's always the bigger, the bigger the problems or the more expensive the software, the less able are people to really inform themselves about the stuff. It's much harder to understand. I mean, do we all know what we need when we go to SAP and need an ERP system? I think we probably don't have much of an idea, and we want them to guide us what we need to do to be able to buy their stuff. That doesn't happen. That doesn't need to happen with deals that are worth less. People have an easier idea. When I want a sales tool, I know the problem I have. I know what I want to solve. I tell the guy, hey, that's my problem, and tell me if your solution can solve that problem. But I can formulate the problem very, very easily myself. And then it works also better. The easier the people can formulate the problem themselves, the more that approach works, right? Up to so problem fit, and it's really tough for somebody who sells a million deals, a million euro or franc deals per year, and put down that stuff into a web page, and say, yeah, that's exactly it.
Absolutely.
But I really got it, and I think, with big deals, you reverse engineer, or the people also want your help. Then they need your help. They need you you don't need much reverse engineering probably. When I think about it now, it's probably they haven't gotten, if they have gotten so really far, it's an exclamation mark, because that means, okay, there was a guy in there before. That's usually critical with us. If
Yeah.
not, with lower size deals, then I think thanks to you and your team's work, up to sales doesn't have to do that much anymore, and just qualify quickly and then get people through.
And identify adapting and changing
Yeah,
customer client needs and
very
stuff
good.
like that. So there's the whole bringing sales and marketing closer together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think a nice summary of what I said before, and that it took me very long to say it, is a business can be very, very successful and run forever if it nails the bottom of the funnel without ever nailing the top of the funnel. And a business is going to run very quickly out of money if they just nail the top of funnel part.
Before they even ever earn, right? Most of
Or
them.
before they figure out how to close.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you mean top of the funnel? You mean like a lot of people coming to your website? If that's
like,
but still not, not closing anything, not earning anything from that.
Yeah.
There are companies who really nail that. People getting people attracted to their website, not closing, but that's not like a lot fail with this, and but a lot who just win those customers who come and maybe just I get it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and we had two like map outs for that, right? So we said like the customer at the top of the funnel typically is less informed. It's not even about us, right? Sometimes they don't even understand that the world is changing. They don't even understand that there's now an issue going on, right? Like it's like you never heard of COVID. Why would you want a vaccination? Why would you make a decision between AstraZeneca and BioNTech? So now maybe I'm the third one. I'm Moderna. I'm bringing up that website. Now I can run my business from a website that is just like, which one is better, BioNTech or Moderna or AstraZeneca? And then my website all of a sudden finds out that only Moderna has all these green checks, right?
Mhm.
So I can, like maybe the 3% of traffic I can convince to get my vaccine. Those are people who are ready to buy. Doesn't mean that they are right in what they need. Maybe they don't need what they're looking for, but they will buy. And you can run a business off of that. And most businesses run that. Most businesses run off the demand that is already there, right? And it's, if you look at Russell's ClickFunnels school, for instance, it's all about mapping funnels that exist, that live, and you just do the same thing, right? You just do the same thing because the traffic is already there. And when we are more sophisticated, especially when it comes to B2B sales, and look at Salesforce, for instance, they know that once they give you a quote, you will probably think it's expensive. Boy, it's the same for HubSpot. They give you a quote, you go like, phew, I didn't expect it to be that expensive, right? It's like 10x what you assumed, maybe. So they make sure that they understand you first. They make sure that you understand all the beauty of the promised land that is coming before they give you a price. And yeah, that leaves the decision up to us, right? This is not a technical question. It's more like the strategy. How much bottom of funnel do you need to build your top of funnel business if you want, like, and guide people all the way through? And I think that's very helpful for me. It's been very eye opening again. Abdou, thanks for sharing all of that perspective. And I think that sentence really is great, right? You can survive on the if you rock the bottom of the funnel.
Yeah,
but you cannot survive if you only rock the top of the funnel.
I really like that. It's a very good
close
sentence, actually.
I have a quick summary in terms of I listened, right, and I found that we have identified 4 approaches to dealing with that informed customer, right? Number one was something that you said, Patrick. You can pull out, right? I mean, and Abdou said the same. Maybe it's not worth having that extended conversation if these guys are just looking for something cheap and we don't have that, right? Because maybe they don't have the budget. Maybe they are not there yet. Maybe they're just not a good fit, and maybe our solution is not a good fit for them. Maybe you just want to pull the plug, right? Maybe. So then you can, if you say like, no, here there is something, and we can create a different quality of life for these people. Then at some point, maybe you decide to pull back the conversation and reopen it and say like, hey, cute, thanks for asking whatever detail they want. Before I can answer that, I need to get more out of you guys, because there are like a billion options to do this. And there's a billion ways to build a website, and typically it's not only that, it's the satellites that go with it. So in order to give you relevant information, please let me understand a little better, where's this going, right? Why are we having this call in the first place? Yeah. So there's a certain risk that you will lose out on them, right? Because maybe somebody else, the guy on the yellow bike, has already given them a quote and they want to move, right? They want to feel productive. They want to feel the progress. So maybe you're not finishing that conversation with them. You can also give them a step-by-step approach and say like, hey, that's beautiful. Step number 1 for your new website. Let's find out what the results are. Step number 2, step number 3, and so forth, right? So you can give them small amounts of consulting and everything. That's the typical approach to tech sales, pre-sales, right? You do some pre-sales to find out what you need to find out, so you can give them like the final quote. In the same time, you're convincing them that it's maybe not that easy. And then number 4, that's my favorite, actually. My absolute favorite is, and that is something, Abdou, you asked that earlier. How do we think about selling them what they want and giving them what they need? We can package up, right? You can say like, yeah, beautiful. It's exactly what we're doing every day. So here's your package. And contained in the package is the bulletproof plan that will get you the results. And then we do everything they need in those 9 steps, maybe.
Nice one.
And it doesn't interfere with our 10 commandments, which would have been the quod erat demonstrandum today. Like, can you be a good sales mate in brownfield country, right? where companies already live. Yeah.
Excellent.
Cool insights. I love those 4. I'd be on option 4. What would you guys do?
You're to your irresistible offer, right? That's it.
Yeah, it's the irresistible offer. It's our bulletproof plan. It's taking responsibility for the result, while at the same time not trying to bore them out with our smart perspectives, right? So not breaking the flow.
I'll definitely run with the I'll help you get the decision criteria right. I think that's just genius, because if it doesn't work, then it most probably wouldn't have worked anyway. And if it works, you're at the start of a very promising conversation and relationship.
Cool.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're asking buyers to think that's can turn out this or that way.
So, what if the informed customer? Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
No, I think that's all from me.
Yeah, no, I mean that was very insightful. Thanks for that, Abdou. So I guess the currency, how many people visit your website, is becoming less valuable necessarily if you didn't figure out the bottom of your funnel.
Yeah, and especially if we're looking for what was that 5% conversion or something. So you're really not wasting any energy on
Absolutely.
unqualified stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So commandment number 10, know where to start. That is the final commandment of our 10 commandment series. You guys qualify for the polo shirt with the 10 commandments on it. Drop us a line below here and say like, it's me. We will get back to you and make sure it's on the way.
What if I don't want a polo shirt? I never wear polo shirts. I just wear normal shirts. What about that?
We can do normal shirts.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're systematic about it. We'll probably produce a polo shirt and then cut stuff off of it. But it looks even more swaggy, I hear.
Yeah. The quick fix shirt.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. I like
So
it.
no, we'll absolutely get a t-shirt your way if you want a t-shirt. And the posters, right? The 10 posters with the 10 commandments, the one poster with the 10 commandments on it, if you rather like that. Drop us a line below. We'll make sure it's on your way. Thanks for tuning in into like every single one of the 10 commandments or all 10. We had fun doing this. We hope it's helpful. We're looking forward to your questions. We're monitoring each of the videos that we did here regularly. So drop your questions. We'll get back to you. And if you have anything on your mind that you want us to chat about, let us know as well. This is the Smarter Life, the Smarter Growth podcast, coming to you live every Tuesday.
On live. I like.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thanks for joining. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for hosting it, Max.
Yeah, thanks for hosting. Genius.
You are welcome.
Absolutely.
My pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Talk soon.